Hello, everyone, and welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder, your favorite true crime momcast. I am Rachel.
And I am Heather, and each week we bring you true crime all about, true crime, all about moms. From missing moms to murdered moms, moms who murder, survivors, and more.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for checking us out. If you have been someone who has been with us this whole time, we absolutely love you. The OGs, shout out to ya. Yes, chef's kiss. And then anyone else who is here, whether you're the first time ever or just coming back, second, third time, thank you. We really appreciate it. We do our best trying to get very, very important cases out there, missing persons information, different, unsolved, solved, all of those things mom related. And so we love that you guys are here checking it out.
Yes, for sure. And we've started doing at the beginning of our episodes question of the week. And so one question that we get when people find out, oh, you have a podcast? And one thing we get is like, oh, what is it like? What is it like? I have to say, obviously we love our podcast, especially because we love each other and we love talking to each other.
Yes.
We love the other thing that I didn't realize when we very first started this, however many, oh my gosh, we're about to come up on 3 years.
Yes.
Is not just the close-knit podcast community, but within that, just learning from each other, especially learning more about advocating for victims and survivors of these crimes that we talk about. And I feel like that advocacy and kind of that whole part of it, it was not something that I really thought about too much when we first started, but it's definitely become such a big part of what we do.
No, it definitely has. And you're right, because when we started this, and, in all honesty and transparency, this podcast, it was started for entertainment purposes. That is a lot of the podcasts out there. It's because there is this desire from people to want to listen to certain things, not just true crime, but podcasting in general, right? And so with that platform, we have grown so much and we have learned so much of what we could do with our voice, with our platform, and with what we're doing. And so I love that as well. You guys, I just attended a very, very important event on that note, and I'm still kind of coming down from it. I went to Tennessee, and I went to the Tennessee Missing Children's Day that is put on every single year, March 4th, because of the disappearance of Bethany Markowski from 2001. And so if you guys have been with us however long you've been listening, you know that we are co-producing the second season of Missing in Hushtown, and that is on Bethany Markowski. It is on the disappearance of Bethany Markowski. And so her mother, Johnny Carter, is the one who founded Tennessee Missing Children's Day, and she has been putting this on alongside of her family, her sisters, her nieces. Everyone has come together to make this event happen. And when I was there, so not only I got to meet this family in person, and that is the part that I say I'm coming down from, because that is so important to me. I remember going to Tennessee not even a year ago for the launch of Missing in Hushtown, which was the first season was on the disappearance of Jennifer and Adriana Wicks, no longer disappearance, homicide guys. But that as well, meeting these families, it is such a big deal, right? We talk about this. We share this information. That is an episode. It is a day. It is a week's research. It is whatever it may be. This is their lives.
Right.
This is what they do every single day. This is what they feel. This is what they grieve every single day. They try to make a difference in one way or another, right? And so it's so impactful. This day specifically was to recognize and remember all of the missing children in Tennessee. And so it was a beautiful event when it comes to the community coming together and supporting one another through this. One of the things that they had there, excuse me, one of the things that they had there was free fingerprint, like fingerprint kits for you to fingerprint your children, because that is one of the things that is so necessary. If your kid ever goes missing and you have those, it is a game changer right there. And so they had that going on. They had different guest speakers. They had one of the guys out of the FBI in Tennessee who was there giving statistics. And it's just so important. But one of the things that stuck with me the entire time was, and still like right now, my heart is like so insanely full but broken at the same time, is we stood and there was a slideshow that showed every single missing persons case out of Tennessee. We stood in unity and we said every single one of their names. And I just got goosebumps because it's just so powerful, because it's not about one, it's about all. It's about this silent epidemic that is happening everywhere. It's just such a big deal, you guys. So yeah, what was your question?
I know, I can't even remember because I have goosebumps and I'm on the verge of tears. No, I'm so happy that, you know, we have found our way navigating through the podcast world and have found kind of this community of not just, you know, talking about these crimes. Obviously, from day one, we were focused on the fact that it's about moms, but the idea that we have now found this group, this community, who the advocacy is fucking real. It's real. Yeah. And it's impactful, and being able to contribute in any way that we can, it feels really good. So just by listening to us today, guys, just know that, you know, just listening to us is supporting that work as well, because, you know, we have big plans for the next couple events that we're going to, then that's gonna, you know, again, highlight advocacy, and we'll have more news about that as we kind of develop it. But yeah, so, and again, just you listening and sharing an episode about a missing persons, or even a case that maybe was solved but something happened that's like, oh, that should never fucking happen again. That's important too. So yeah, so thank you.
You can learn so much from the solved cases as well, and from certain things. There's so much that is a takeaway when you are listening in the right way, right? Mm-hmm. Or if it's being told in the right way. One other thing that I will say about the event, and then we can move on to your case, is that at the end, Johnny, she was standing up there and she said it, and I don't know how she said it. I should just play the clip of how she said it, because her words are gold and mine are not. And it was just the fact that you've got to share. You've got to share these missing persons cases. You have to share their flyers. You have to do that. It's free. It's easy. The majority of you are on social media. You can share it. That is how they get seen. And the moment you stop sharing is when they are gone.
Yeah.
That is when they disappear.
Yeah.
You keep them alive. You keep them remembered as you share their information, as you share their pictures, as you say their name. So you've got to do that. You've got to do that.
I love that. Yes. And you know what? That's actually a perfect segue into our case today, because you all should know, if you've been here for a while, that I usually don't go for the unsolved because it's hard for me. I get really...
She's a fireball,
you know?
Yeah.
And so I usually don't, but this one is very important. It's something that I really want to make sure we highlight, because it's going on too much time has gone by without answers. And I think that and you'll see, as even the detectives on the case say, this is something that could be solved. So today we are going to get into the case of Rajah McQueen.
All right, let's do it.
Last year, in honor of Black History Month, I talked about 4 unsolved cases of missing Black mothers. So I wanted to bring back one of those cases and go more in depth. But before I do, I wanted to state some statistics and facts. You know how I am. Mm-hmm. I got these from the Black and Missing website.
Which is, let me just say, which is such a great website when it
Yes.
comes to them, like who they are. And they're just beautiful, beautiful people. And I love everyone who is like working that website and that foundation and all of that. And so I just have to say that.
They were at CrimeCon last year.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it was amazing, just organization.
Yep.
Okay. So here's the stats. While Black people make up around only 14% of the U.S. population, they represent 37% of the missing registered with the FBI's National Crime Information Center. Thousands of people are reported missing every year in the U.S., and while not every case will get widespread media attention, the coverage of white versus minority victims is far from proportionate. We've talked about this before. We're not saying that a missing white victim is any less deserving. Right. Exactly, but everything should be proportionate. So why is this the case? Well, one, a lot of minority children are initially classified as runaways, and as a result, they do not get that initial Amber Alert. Two, missing minority adults are often labeled as being associated with criminal involvement, gangs, drugs. In the case of missing women, a lot of times sex work. So they also don't get the same recognition. And there's a widespread belief, although it is false, that missing minorities, they live in impoverished conditions and crime is just a regular part of their lives. So okay, like you shouldn't care any less. It doesn't make sense.
It's a disgusting mindset.
It's disgusting. Another thing, especially when it comes to coverage, is there is a disproportional amount of white males who work in the news, and whether they do it consciously or subconsciously, or, it's just the way that the news networks work, because it is a disproportionate amount of white males, that is often who's covered. Okay, so this may contribute to the disproportionate coverage. So with all that being said, today we are going to do our best.
Change that.
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
yes.
But that's exactly where I'm going. Thank you.
Now I need to go apply at a news station.
Yes.
Look, every time we have a problem, I think it's my job to become that worker.
But I love that mindset, Rachel, because it like you were just saying earlier, like this is a societal thing. It's up to all of us to fix it. All of us need to take a little bit of responsibility for the widespread issue and do what we can to fix it. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do today. We're going to try to tip the scales in the right direction. And we are going to raise some awareness on the case of Rajah McQueen, who was a young mother of two who went missing from Cleveland, Ohio in 2021. Now, when you look up coverage of Rajah,
there's nothing. That's how empty it is.
So this is the thing, is there's a lot of local coverage. Like from Ohio, Cleveland area, there is local coverage. They have lots of interviews with her family, because as you'll see, it's a very close-knit family. There have been several podcasts that highlight her case, and a podcast that they've aired, and they've with interviews with not only the special agent, the FBI special agent that is assigned to her case, but also the local Cleveland police who's assigned to her case. And I did get some of this information from one such podcast called the Dark Side of the Land, where they interviewed these two guys, and it was really well done. But a missing mother of two, and as you'll see, she was an amazing person. It's just crazy to me that there wasn't here some national news right here. It's this is just what I'm saying. That's the problem. Okay, but this is how we're gonna solve it. So when the detective on this case was asked if this was a solvable case, his response, and I quote, It's absolutely solvable. Yes. So Rajah was the youngest of 6 girls. Can you imagine 6 girls?
Absolutely not. I can't do it with my one.
I know. It was a close-knit family. It was actually a total of 8 siblings and several close cousins. And Rajah was studying music and ministry at Rosedale Bible College. She was a singer, a rapper, songwriter, and she was talented. So in April of 2021, just mere weeks before she went missing, she actually released an EP album titled Warfare Born Again Part 1. And I have to say, I listened to some of this album, and in the words of my Gen Z sibling brethren out there, okay, I'm going to do my best not to mess this up. It slaps, okay?
It slaps. Oh, my gosh.
I know I might be too old to be using that terminology, but I'm telling you, it's freaking good. It's really, really good. Rajah, she not only being a super talented lyricist, but she was also just all around loved. You can see it with all the people that talk about her family, her friends, her classmates. She has a post on her Instagram where it looks like she's like in her dorm room studying, and I don't know if it's like her classmates or some of her family or something, but someone like barges into her dorm on what I think is like a Mother's Day, and they just start saying like Happy Mother's Day, and it's just the sweetest. It's the sweetest thing. Like tons of support around her. And speaking of, the Mother's Day, she was especially loved and adored by her 2 young sons. So she was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful young mother, sister, daughter, friend. And everyone who talks about her says she just had this, effervescent, bubbly personality. Yeah. Her family to this day talks about the close bond that they have, and it makes it even harder now that she is missing. So Rajah's sister says, and this is a quote, "She is missing. The car is missing. She has not been home. She didn't go to work. It's like she just vanished."
That's the worst. How old were her boys when she went missing?
So when she went missing, I believe let me do math. Should have been around 6 and 7 when she went missing. Yeah. So old enough.
I mean, it's all, no matter what age, but I just always think about like in comparison to my own child and just like how,
I will get into a little bit about that at the end of the episode, and I will probably cry. Okay. So it was the summer of 2021. Rajah had just released her album, and she was living, and this is in her own words, her real Christian hot girl summer.
I love that. That's the best.
Yes. So on June 24th, 2021, Rajah had called her sister Shamir, and they had a normal sister conversation. But what Shamir did not know was this would be the last time she would be able to speak with Rajah. 2 days later, on Saturday, June 26th, another one of Rajah's sisters would contact Shamir and say that just something was off. She'd been trying to get in touch with Rajah all day with no answer. And remember what we talked about. This is like a tight, close-knit family, and it was not like Rajah to go radio silent like that.
Right. And those are things you really do have to look at, and you have to know that I shouldn't say you have to know. I wish that law enforcement agencies were able to take that much more seriously than we see too often, because these families, these people know their routines. Right. They know what they're doing. They know how they respond. They know what they're doing throughout their day and stuff. And so when they tell you like this is uncommon for them, it's just way too often we see it not taken seriously in that way.
For sure. So 2 days after that, on June 28th, concern continued to grow. Still, no one had been able to contact Rajah, and when her sister Shamir contacted the man that had been romantically involved with Rajah, just more red flags. So Shamir said that he had had conflicting stories about the last time he'd seen her, and he just couldn't get his story straight. On Wednesday, June 30th, the family filed the missing persons report. At this point, they had not heard from Rajah for 6 days. And that was uncommon. At the time they filed the report, they also let authorities know that the man that Rajah had been romantically involved with had assaulted her in the past. So immediately, authorities begin to investigate. And like you said, we've seen it in the past where things were not taken as seriously, it was brushed off. But I am very grateful that by all accounts, once the missing persons report was filed, the investigators on the case, they were doing the right thing. Like I said earlier, I've watched some interviews with the local investigator and the FBI special agent who was working the case, and they seemed like they were all in. They were invested. And we have, like I said, we've covered cases where when a woman goes missing, especially a Black woman, it's not taken seriously. It's not given the attention it deserves. But thankfully, that doesn't seem to be the case for Rajah. Her family has even said that they understand that detectives have been careful with, what they're doing, what they're releasing about the case, because just like the family, the detectives want a conviction, and it's important to them.
Yep.
So the investigators start to dig in, and one thing they do is they find video footage that details out the last moments that Rajah was seen. So on June 26th, this is the day, 2 days after she last spoke to Shamir, and the day that the other sister called Shamir saying, something's up. June 26, 2021, around 7:30 a.m., Rajah's car is seen at a busy gas station on East 131st Street and Harvard Avenue in Cleveland. The area of the gas station is known as the 4th District, and it's a pretty high-density area for foot traffic, vehicle traffic, so it's not like it was out in the middle of nowhere with not a lot of people around. Rajah drove a silver 2018 Nissan Sentra with a license plate number JGH 3952. And I'll be repeating this information at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Cameras catch Rajah pulling into the gas station. She is not alone in the car. There is a man in the passenger seat. They see Rajah exit the car, head into the gas station, into the little store. A few minutes later, she comes out. She returns to her car, but this time, her and the passenger switch. So she gets in the passenger seat, and he takes over as the driver of the vehicle.
Don't like this.
Yeah. So then cameras pick up the car again around 3 hours later, 11:40 a.m. And this is the last time that they're able to track the car on the cameras. So the city surveillance cameras, they track Rajah's car this time to Broadway and Union Avenue, which is less than 4 miles from that gas station. But this time, Rajah is not driving the car. Someone else was, and Rajah cannot be seen at all in the vehicle.
Okay.
That's not the only real suspect stuff going on with what the city surveillance picks up.
Okay.
So there are now what investigators believe to be 2 bullet hole defects seen on Rajah's Nissan. One on the roof of the car, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. What?
How does it get on the roof? And then another one in the rear passenger door. Not only that, the car is missing its hubcaps and the license plate.
All 4?
All 4 hubcaps are gone.
So were they specific looking hubcaps? Because as I was asking about the hubcaps, you said license plate. So were they so specific that they wanted the car to look more normal, so they got rid of the license plate and the hubcaps?
I'm not sure what the hubcaps is. But the license plate removal, obviously, they're doing this as a way to,
not be
like,
found.
de-identify the car, right? If it looks like a
like,
car without hubcaps, like, that's something that's, like, specific, like,
right,
you know.
right, yeah.
But the license plate had been removed. Not only that, though, you know how when you first get a car and you don't have a full license plate, they give you like a little dealer tag so that you're not running around driving without a car with a license plate. So there was a dealer tag, what looked to be a dealer tag that was put in the back window. So like, oh, don't pull me over. It's just a new car that I got from the dealer. It's okay that I don't have a license plate.
It's okay. New car from the dealer has 2 gunshot holes through it
And
on
no
the roof and the
hubcaps.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so real dealer material right there.
And not only that, a window is missing from the passenger side. It's unknown whether it was just rolled down at the time of the picture or was it actually like broken.
No, whatever is happening, she locked herself in the vehicle. This dumb shit, whoever it was, got on top, tried to get in, broke a window, shot through the fucking... Goodness gracious. Sorry, that's where my head goes. Go ahead.
That's some ideas. Well, that's the last evidence that they really have. So they have that surveillance footage, which obviously so important. The Cleveland police and the FBI, they talk about, you know, the team that they had tracking her car through the city.
Did you say that car's never been found?
Car's never been found.
What?
Yeah. So in addition to that surveillance footage, which is pivotal, Cleveland police and the FBI, they also completed searches by air, including a drone, helicopter. They issued several search warrants. They interviewed people, canvassed the neighborhood. They've offered rewards. Unfortunately, though, at this point, the updates in the case seem minimal. Okay,
but so the cameras and everything, are they able to make out who she was with?
Mm-mm.
What do you mean?
So hold on. I have a little more information.
Take that
on this.
back.
I'm sorry. I have just a little bit more information on the first footage that she found. So one thing that we do know, Shamir, Rajah's sister, has said that on the surveillance video from the gas station, she recognized the man in the car. Yeah. Okay? The one who switched places with Rajah and took over driving. I have not been able to confirm, and this might be on purpose, right? If this is the same guy that Shamir had called in the days following her sister's disappearance, right? The one that she was romantically involved in. Shamir called. He couldn't get his story straight. Mm-hmm. They reported that when they reported her missing, they said, look, he has assaulted her in the past. I do not know if that's the same guy who's in the car on the surveillance video. Okay. From the gas station. This guy was identified. Obviously, Shamir recognized him, and he was interviewed by authorities. However, police have not released any more information about him, and he has not been arrested or publicly identified as a suspect in the case.
Yeah, meaning they have something on him and they're waiting for something to happen.
So that could definitely be it, because like we said earlier, like her family, Rajah's family, says that they trust the police and they believe that they're doing the right thing in keeping certain things
tight-lipped.
Yeah, tight-lipped so that it doesn't impact the case. The other alternative is maybe they can confirm that in that 4-hour span between the gas station when they saw him and when the car was later picked up on cameras with the bullet holes. So maybe they can confirm that that guy was now elsewhere. Maybe he has an alibi for 11:40 when the car was last seen. Because it's unclear if whether the guy they seen in the gas station surveillance was the same guy driving the vehicle 3 hours later. We still don't know. At least I haven't been able to find it.
Oh, man.
Okay? But either way, like you mentioned, the vehicle has not been found, which is pretty freaking crazy.
That is bananas.
Now, yeah, because, like, how do you hide a whole-ass car? Now, it's possible they scrapped it for parts. I mean, clearly they already took hubcaps off of it, like, maybe something like that, but they have not found the car. And they have not found Rajah.
Ugh.
So about 1 year after her disappearance, her family, they continue to canvass the neighborhood. They're putting posters with Rajah's beautiful, beautiful smile front and center. And they continue to fight. As of June 24th, 3 years since Rajah mysteriously disappeared. And according to an article I found from that time, the FBI and the local police, they've reinvigorated the push to solve her case.
Good.
So, yes, definitely. Special Agent Andrew Burke with FBI Cleveland is actively working her case along with the Cleveland police. And according to this article, they've added investigators to the case to find her. So this FBI special agent, he had some choice words. He said that the case depends on people having the courage to come forward. He said, quote, "We have been reviewing evidence, both old and new, and we do believe that we're going to get the case to a resolution," end quote.
Yes.
That is the attitude.
Yeah, we need that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yep.
He goes on to say that they are, unfortunately, though, missing pieces. And he does have hope that the time between Rajah's disappearance and now, he's hoping that it's given people time to, quote, "develop their conscience," end quote, and finally come forward. Someone knows something. This was this was a busy area. They caught it on all these cameras. Definitely some shit went down in that 4-hour period, or 3. I'm sorry, let me do my mouth. That 3-hour period between the gas station when she was seen with the car and the last time the car was seen without her in it, and it all fucked up with bullet holes. Something that people know something.
Yeah. Yep.
And Rajah's family, they deserve answers. Okay?
Absolutely.
They have already struggled through heartbreak after heartbreak. I was reading some articles, and it sucks. So Rajah, she is not the first of these close-knit siblings to fall victim to an unsolved case.
Oh, no.
Shamir says that her brother was actually murdered in 2019, and that case is also unsolved. And on top of that, July of last year, Shamir, she shared with NBC4 in Cleveland that their mom has been battling cancer.
Goodness gracious.
So Shamir, she just wants more than anything to have answers for their mother and for Rajah's 2 young sons who are now around 9 and 10 years old. Okay, let me take a breath. Shamir explains that the boys are still obviously very impacted by their mother's disappearance, and they are also holding out hope that one day they can see their mom, and this is a quote, "give her a big hug and kiss."
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we absolutely need to hold on to that hope that that's going to happen for these 2 boys, for their family. And I mean, we've heard it from the law enforcement saying, or whatever agency it was saying, that, you know, it's solvable,
It's
that
solvable.
there's stuff. So hopefully that solvable leads to good things.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my
And
gosh, my
that's
heart.
exactly right. It is solvable. And again, this is how everybody can do their little part to help find her. Okay? We have listeners in Cleveland. Like, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? Well, I have a question. Let me go back. So, when you were researching, did you find anything that there might be any sort of possible connection between her brother and her? Were they in the same area?
I couldn't find any more information on that.
I will.
I do believe it was get it, girl, deep dives. I do believe it all was in the same area in Cleveland, but I don't know if there was an actual connection between the two.
Looks like
But
we
it's
need
a
to
good
talk
question.
to Shamir.
Yeah, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but this is exactly what it is. Is like we have to look for these connections. We have to look, around. Cleveland is not like Cleveland has people. Like it's not like out in the boonies nowhere. Like someone saw something. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to repeat some information here for all of you to share, to think about.
Yes.
Rajah is 5'6" tall and weighs around 130 pounds. She has dark eyes, long black hair. She had a pierced nose, pierced ears, and she has tattoos, including a full half sleeve on her left arm. It includes a woman holding a cross. She has a tattoo of a butterfly on her chest and some other tattoos on her right shoulder, right thigh. She has some on her wrists. So she has some identifying tattoos. And Rajah would be 30 years old today. So like we said, she was last seen on June 26th, 2021 at that gas station on East 131st Street and Harvard Avenue in Cleveland. And she drove the silver 2018 Nissan Sentra with the license plate number JGH 3952. And remember, this license plate was stripped from her car. Okay? Beautiful. Rachel, you're going to die because I'm going to end this episode with something else that you're going to die.
Oh, my
She's
heart.
beautiful.
You guys, I'm showing on YouTube the picture that is on a lot of her missing persons flyers.
Look at that smile.
And you're right, that smile is just,
I know.
Look at her. How devastating. Jeez.
I know. So the FBI and the Crime Stoppers, they have increased the reward to $30,000 for anyone with any information that leads to Rajah or her car, because remember, her car is still missing. If you have any information concerning Rajah's case, please contact the FBI Tipline at 216-583-5383, or you can submit your tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Your identity can remain anonymous.
Yes.
Okay, your identity can remain anonymous.
I was going to add that if that wasn't in there. So many people need to hear that, because if you are someone who is afraid, if you are someone who has your own record and shit that you don't want getting out there, if you are someone who is a shady shit, if you are someone who was involved, if you are someone who maybe has nothing, but you heard something and you don't want it to fall back on you, because maybe it's not all bad. Maybe it's as simple as you were in passing, you heard it, but you don't want that person to know that it was you. You can give the information anonymously.
100%.
For these boys, for her children, for her family, for her. Like, come on.
Yep. You can also reach out to the Cleveland Police Detective Kevin Callahan directly at 216-623-3138. And like Rachel was saying, someone knows something about what happened to Rajah. And like we say it all the time. You see something, you say something. And even if you remember something super small, you saw a license plate thrown on the side of the road one time, like 3 summers ago, something. Maybe you were in the area of Cleveland on June 26, 2021. People go to Cleveland all the time. I went to Cleveland for a conference. And when did I go? 2023. Okay? Check the pictures on your phone. Y'all know that you have all your iCloud backups back to June 26, 2021. Check your posts from around that time. Okay? There's so much options to help. Let's not let Rajah's family go through another summer, another year without answers.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I'm going to end with some of Rajah's own lyrics to motivate you.
Oh, shit.
I can't rap. Okay? This isn't the part that's going to make you cry, Rachel. This is like uplifting, but I am going to also make you cry in a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were going to play it. You're going to read it?
I'm going to play a little something later. I'm going to read her rap lyrics right now because I can't rap.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
But this is the motivation, this is the attitude, this is the mentality we need for cases like hers. So in her own words, better watch out, never been a quitter, ain't gonna back down.
Yep.
And I do want to say that instead of our normal outro music today, Rachel and I are going to instead have a song from the last post from Rajah's Instagram. It's beautiful. She's a singer. She's talented. And you should go check it out for yourself. Her page is public. You can go see all of her music, all of her talent on Instagram. It's called, her page is resilient_Rajah, RAJAH.
Okay.
Go check it out. It's amazing. But you
That'll
guys
be
will
in the show notes for you guys.
Yes.
Too.
Oh, for sure. And there's a Facebook page about finding Rajah, and of course all the sources, everything, all in the show notes today, including where you can go to submit tips. Everything like that will be in the show notes. So you guys will be treated to that at the very end of the episode. So make sure you stick around and listen, because it's amazing. She was so fucking talented.
Yeah.
She is so fucking talented. So that's what I have. That is the case, the unsolved missing persons case, still being investigated, of Rajah McQueen.
I'm so glad that it's being investigated. I'm so glad that they haven't put this off as a runaway or as someone who just took off from her children.
For sure.
I'm glad that whether it's new eyes or whatever, there's new people on the case that are not letting it go out of sight, out of mind, because too often we see that happen. And she, just like everyone, deserves the time, the effort, the ability to be found, to come home in hopefully a way that is, in a happy way. Ending.
Happy.
But ultimately, just come home. Yeah. That's what it is. So, wow. Oh, Heather. I know those are hard for you.
I know. I felt the need, though, because I was actually looking through some of our old episodes, and last February I covered those 4 cases. Rajah's was the most recent one, and I had spanned, I think, like 15, 20 years, 4 cases across that time of just missing Black mothers. And so I started going through, like, anything updated, and unfortunately, no. But, I did see the article that in the summer of last year that, they're keeping it alive for Rajah. They're adding investigators to the case. So, whatever we can do to add to that reinvigoration is something that we should do. Yeah, so absolutely. Same for all of you out there, share it, do it.
Yeah. Share it, do it. That is important. Well, I am eager to listen to this. So I think we will have all of this, you guys, per usual. Everything will be in the show notes for you guys to go check out. You can see her pictures. If you see it, please share it, all of that. But we will talk to you guys next week on another episode of Like Mother, Like Murder. Play this for me. Play it for me.
Okay.
Oh, am I supposed to say "K love you, bye, everybody"?
Yeah. K love you, bye.
I was like, I don't want to, because I need to hear what you have to play for me.
It's gonna get you in your feels. Hold on, I gotta find it.
Makes me think of Maya Miliete, who also sang and is still not been found.
Right. Make no mistakes in our lives. Even when we're wrong, you'll make it right. And where we go land, and you told us go right, you gon' be alright. 'Cause she